Welcome to another Testimony Tuesday. Just want to say thank you for taking time to spend a few minutes with me. Um, Quickly this afternoon, this morning, this evening, whichever time you're watching this video, I was reminded that in the Bible it says that in John 14:6, a very famous scripture, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father but by me. We live in a day and time where things are very stressful. And a lot of people I know, they're always looking for a way to get through this or get through that. And as a testimony, I can tell you that as I've lived my life, through the years, as a youngster, I recall, getting saved at revival and then I would fall back, or then I'd go into another situation in life. And as a teenager, I'd give my heart to God and then make decisions just to live the life I wanted to. As I come into an adult and become adult and got married, and I really started then so hard to really strive to live a Christian life as I should, to walk with God as He's called us to walk. And at a young age, He called me to preach. So around 32 years old, he stopped me on the job I was and told me it was time to do what He called me to do. So that brought about a lot of changes in life. I had to walk away from situations that I had already was in, and things that I'd already done. But I felt that it was that necessary to follow after what God had me do. Now, since then, there's been times in my life where I've made mistakes, but here's the thing. God never left me. And before I was going to make this video, I was also looking at the scripture where God said He'd never leave us or forsake us. As a matter of fact, in Deuteronomy 31, He told them to be of good courage. He said, I will go before you. I'll go with you. And I believe, if I remember right, that was a transition where Moses was preparing to they were transitioning into the time when Joshua would take over as the leader of Israel that God had put in place there. And Joshua would, of course, be the one to carry them into the promised land as God has promised. But also in Hebrews 13:5, He tells us He'd never leave us or forsake us. So I want you to think about that today. As you're listening to this video, go back through your life and examine it. Because now when He says those words, He'll never leave us or forsake us. So when Jesus told, as Thomas asked, how can we go where you say we can go? How can we go where you say you're going to be? And He tells him, He's the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is. Think about your life. You have to put yourself in a place. God is a gentleman. He will never invade you. He will only come in when He is asked to come in. He will only forgive when He is asked for forgiveness. So you need to think about, we can tend, I've seen people, and I'm thankful, I don't, and this is not a saying in a bragging way, I'm grateful for God and I give God the glory. I'm thankful for an attitude that, through my following after Him, through the way I was brought up with those who lived the life around me and those who prayed for me, I believe I can honestly say there's never been a time in my life where I've blamed God for anything that's happened in my life that was what I call bad. Even losing my mother. My mother was a wonderful Christian woman, and she would be angry with me if I blamed God for her passing. She came down with a sickness and was taken away from us suddenly. God seen it was time for her to go, and that's the way I feel about that. He seen it was time for her to be moved on to her eternal reward. And I'm excited because I have an opportunity for that eternal reward. I can have that opportunity because I believe that as long as I am trying to live the life that I'm supposed to live, that God has directed me through His Word to live, that He will never leave me or forsake me. And I trust and fully believe that Jesus is the way. He's the only way. He made the way. through his death, through his resurrection, by the blood that was shed on the cross. It says, I am the way, the truth. He is the truth. Satan is the father of lies. He does nothing but lie. I believe the word says that in him is no truth. So, but Jesus is the truth. The way of this world is being written before us, being lived out before us, because when you read the word, it explains the things that happen, the lack of morals and values that's taking place now, the things that's going on in Israel now. These are all signs of the time. All these earthquakes, we used to hear about earthquakes, but they were always somewhere else, or at least in California, but now they're all over the place. These storms that take place, the damage that's happening now, the lack of those morals and values that is so evident, trying to be shoved in our faces. We as Christians are under attack because we believe in morals. We believe in absolute truth. We don't believe in if it feels good, do it. We believe that there is consequences to the decisions we make. And when you truly serve God as you should, you don't just look at the consequences that are here, but you are looking at the earthly, the eternal consequences. They are so different. The earthly consequence only is for now. The eternal consequence is what you damage for eternity. Is the decision I made not to follow God, what is that going to have for me? That's going to mean I'm going to live in a hell separate from God, but not because of what God decided, but because of the choice that you or I make. Now, I want to live in eternity with the Father in a place called heaven that He will set up for each of us who choose to live that life for Him. So I want to just encourage you today. If you haven't given your life to Jesus, would you do so? Would you think about that in this moment? Where do you stand with Christ? What are the consequences for the decisions you make? You may be looking at this video and everything may be wonderful. You may have money in the bank, a nice car, a good job, wonderful kids, a wonderful life, but something is coming. There will be a time in your life, I guarantee, you will run into something that will shake you. And you, with all that you have done right, you think, in this life, it will shake you to a point where you will begin to wonder and consider, wow, what have I done? But my friend, I want you to think about this. If that comes to you soon, I believe that is God reaching out to you, telling you, hey, I'm here. You need me. And you do need Him. We all need Him. We need to be able to stand on Christ, the rock. Just had to let that sink in for a moment. We can stand on Him today. Friend, if you have spent time watching this video and something I've said today has reached out to you, has touched your heart, leave a comment. But more importantly, would you please like it and share it? Help us spread the gospel of the love of Jesus Christ. He's coming back soon. He's coming back soon. We don't have a lot of time left. Well, Brother Chris, people have been saying that for years. Look around you. Put a little effort in studying the Word some. We all have Google now. Google up end times prophecy. Compare what the Word says to what's happening today. You'll find out. I promise you, God will not leave you hanging. He will. If you're looking, He will open your eyes. All you need to do is ask. All you need to do is come with a heart of love for Him, of forgiveness. We were created to love Him. He created us. He formed us from the dust of the earth, and He breathed His own breath into Adam. And then He put Adam to sleep and took a rib from Adam and formed a woman. So He cared so much for us that He took time. The rest of creation He spoke into existence. But us, He formed us. He, with His own hands, created us. With His own breath, brought life into us. I remind you of that today. We love you here at Shiloh PH Church, 2271 Ultra Mill road in Godwin. Just come and be with us when you can. I love you. I thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'll be praying for each one of you. I can't call your names always, but if you'll leave a comment and I see it, I'll pray for you by name. If not, just know that I'm still praying for you. Each one, I pray, God, each one that takes the time to watch this video, I lift them up. That's how I pray. So thank you again. I love you. Have an awesome day. God bless you.